Unity of Houston is an inclusive church where we seek to understand and live the teachings of Jesus and other spiritual masters. At Unity, we welcome all people from all spiritual paths and every walk of life. We celebrate the diversity of our city and of our world, and we teach love, tolerance, and oneness, seeking to live in harmony with open minds and open hearts.
Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome at Unity. Join us and discover that the life of your dreams is already within you.
That song, what a sweet, sweet song. It's perfect for tonight. Thank you all for being here. I missed you last week. I was on vacation. I got to go to a very cool experience. We went to the Sphere in Las Vegas. Have you heard about this place, the Sphere? Okay, some of you have. Look it up online. They're calling it the eighth wonder of the world. You can see it from space. It's this $3 billion state-of-the-art entertainment building, and it has LEDs, lights all on the outside, and then screens on the inside. It was absolutely amazing. And so I had this kind of just a high experience. It was amazing. My husband and I went for our wedding anniversary, 17th wedding anniversary. And so it was just really special. And then we came back and our fridge broke and we lost our food. So we had to ask our landlord if she would replace the fridge. And so that took a couple days. Daughter got food poisoning from something she ate in the fridge that we didn't know that was going to happen because it wasn't completely not working. I got to do the installation of my good friend, Reverend Sonia Perez, at Unity of the Woodlands on Sunday. So that was just an amazing, joy-filled, light-filled experience to have the honor to get to do that and to sing there as well. And then Monday, my battery died in my car. I had to call AAA. They gave it a jump. And my husband drove it around for a while. And next time, turned it on, the battery was dead. We got a new battery. So life's like that, isn't it? It's everything. It's everything. It's like these amazing high experiences and also all of that. And can we just be in awe of the multiplicity of experiences that we're having and how there really is beauty in everything, isn't there? You can find something to be grateful for, or even just to be grateful in. And I think at this time, when we're seeing war, just so tragic what we're seeing in Israel, Palestine, I think we want to know the fastest way to world peace. Do you? I want to know the fastest way. You're going to join me in that, or we'll just try it out tonight. So, the fastest way. Would it take acceptance or resistance? What do you think? Acceptance. Okay. Would it take rigidity or flexibility? Flexibility. Okay. All right. So we're receptive here. I love that song, Be Like Water. If we want to be in harmony with all life, and we're being really rigid and inflexible and not accepting of life, it's not a very harmonious stance to take. So if that's something that we want to welcome, then there's a fast track to oneness, and I'm going to give you that fast track. So it all starts with being like water, being like water. Maybe we've been a little pebble, a big stone, or maybe a whole dam. We may have felt like our lives are all blocked up. And to know that that's just temporary, that kind of experience, right? The reality is that there is a flow of life. There is a flow. And when we can be in that flow of possibility, of knowing that, well, the fridge broke, and what's the next step? I'll call the landlord, and the next step is to, be present when they come, they bring the fridge, take the old one, all those kind of things. It's like, just take the next step and be in the flow with it, because what I could have done is let it ruin my whole week. Complained about it to everybody, complained about I had to get a new battery, I had to get a new, that's another terrible thing that happened to me, feel bad for me. I have terrible things that happen. I could have lived at a pity party, right? And you can do that and see how that works for you. There's another way. There's another way to recognize that, when water comes to an obstacle, what does it do? It goes around it, right? It goes around that rock or that boulder. It flows around it. It works with the situation. It has total acceptance. Total acceptance. So does total acceptance sound crazy to you? You sound like a lunatic. What is this? Total acceptance. There are situations that are extremely challenging in life, like chronic illness. Can be very challenging for yourself or for a loved one you're caring for. It can be very challenging. A rocky relationship, whether it's personal or work-related, or a job that is a drag, piles of debt, all kinds of things that it can be hard to find total acceptance and freedom in those situations. Well, there's a Zen teaching around acceptance, and it's about a man who's being chased by a tiger. Only imagine how frightening that is. And the man accidentally runs off a cliff. He doesn't fall to his death, though. He grabs a branch on the side of the cliff. The tiger is up on the edge of the cliff and just getting his claw down as close as possible to this man, getting very close, and then below him are some treacherous, dark waters, rapids. If he fell, he wouldn't make it, okay, because it was far down. And so he looks up at the tiger, fierce and ferocious, probably could easily take his life. The rapids that would also take his life, and then he looks ahead of him at a strawberry that's growing off the side of the cliff. And with his spare hand, one grasping to keep him on the cliff, and the other one, he takes a strawberry, he eats it, and he goes, delicious. You imagine the audacity of being in freedom in such a crazy situation. But we can think about that. The tiger, the claws of the past coming after us, the fear of the dark, murky waters of the future. And here you are in the present moment, and there's something delightful there. There may be something absolutely delicious and delightful there when we open our eyes to it and keep our eyes off the tiger and the dark rapids, right? So what is resistance? What is resistance? This resistance that we get to when we have experiences and that we don't want to have. We've been doing these talks over the last few weeks and using Panache Desai's book, You Are Enough, as source material, and I just love him. I highly recommend. He has a morning meditation Monday through Friday. It's free, Call to Calm. It's just something that's really blessed me, and his book just really is a toolkit for putting these teachings into place in your life and knowing that you're enough. And just the title. I love a book where just the title informs you. If you just pay attention to it, keep it before you. Well, he says this about resistance. He says, resistance is fear, a reluctance to feel whatever is going on inside you. It is what locks energy in place. It stops momentum, evolution, and expansion. It is your dissatisfaction with what is. It is your attempt to control. It is your judgment and your rejection. So if you notice something interesting about what he said about resistance, is it's an inside job, isn't it? It doesn't really have to do with changing what's outside of you. It's changing your relationship with it based on your own inner experience. And so I've had things happen in my life that I've experienced a lot of resistance around this year. Earlier this year, I had shared a couple Sundays ago that I had a cancer diagnosis, and that was, well, it was surprising because I didn't feel a lump, I didn't feel any pain. I was like, almost like it didn't exist. Like, how is this thing? You found this, it didn't seem like a thing. It shouldn't be, and it should just go. I had a lot of resistance around this, resistance around the thought that I did everything right. I meditated, I prayed, I ate well, I took vitamins and herbs and, all the things that you think, okay, that is going to keep me from having that big C experience. I'm a unity minister. Unity ministers don't have anything bad happen to them, right? So there was all that kind of came up for me in that experience. Now, resistance has two aspects to it. There is attachment and aversion. So there was this attachment that I had to this version of myself, this identity of being a person who I don't have cancer. I'm not that I'm a healthy person. And my aversion, oh, well, in order to heal this, I'm going to have this major surgery in order to remove this cancer. So there was this attachment to an old way and aversion to what the possibility was to remove it. When you're attached to the way things are in your life, or you can be attached to the way things are in your life, or you can be averse to them, or both, some of both, right? We want to hold on to our body looking a certain way, or maybe how we looked when we were young or thin, or be averse to aging and the changes that come with that. That's a major thing that we go through. People also have attachments and aversions to suffering. We can be attached to suffering. I know that sounds crazy, but we can get something out of suffering, where when our life falls apart, our friends, our coworkers, they want to support us, so then maybe they come in to rescue, and we like that feeling of being rescued. That feels good, and so we create those patterns again and again. There's an attachment to that kind of suffering, or an aversion to suffering, where some people feel that they can't even go on living because their problems are just too much, and their consent is all resistance. That's inner resistance. And we can be free from that so we don't resort to creating traumatic patterns in our lives, and also to feeling like there is no answer or no end to suffering. There is, and that's what spiritual teachings support us in. We think somehow resistance is going to help us to stop things being the way that they are. Like if I just resist it, then maybe it'll go away, or it's not really happening. Resistance is useless, right? It's just useless. It's tiring, and it makes your life unworkable, living in resistance. But there's good news. There's good news. There's a way to escape these ups and downs of life through restoring in connection with your essential self, your true self, which is not that created self with all the drama, right? Your true nature. When you're connected with your true nature, then you can trust that every experience of life is guiding you to your highest expression, is guiding you, is revealing something for you to heal. If somebody is pressing your buttons, then it's a good opportunity for you to see, well, who installed those buttons? Let's say your mom, right? Your parents, but just to notice that it begins with you, and that healing can unfold with you, because it's really your response, right? They are just going to do them. They're doing them. But that doesn't mean that has to be about you. Now, we don't usually grow when things are just humming along as usual, or just kind of plateauing through life, and that's great, but we notice the way that life is, that really when we come into a greater experience of ourself, of our connection with life, is when we go through a challenge that often brings us back to church, so that we remember spirit, we remember our essential self, and come back home. When you're connected to your true nature, then that's when you can use challenging experiences to relax more into the possibility of the moment, like the strawberry. That when you're present, really, when you're connected with your essential self, you're more present to possibilities and what's really there. Because when you're in your kind of resisted, averse state, you're in, the past, the future, you're in, with traumatic patterns and that kind of thing. And when you're really just present to what is, you can see the strawberry, because there's always a strawberry. There's always hope, there's always possibility, right? And my journey that I began sharing with you, really when I surrendered my will, my own willfulness, really, my own willfulness around that situation, around my healing, and I trusted my life, then I was able to go ahead with the treatment plan, because all along there was a treatment plan that was available for me. I'm very grateful that that was available, that offered me 100% survivability rate, and it was very scary for me to go into that. It's an 8-hour surgery, and I cried like the whole day before in front of the staff and everything, and they loved me out and prayed for me. And but I was just being able to release that emotion, because I had all that within me, and I was also grieving the passing of my mom, to be able to release that in the presence of love that I had with the staff was very healing for me. And then I was able to go in in a very clean space, to go into my surgery just really ready and present and accepting, to be accepting. I trusted that divine guidance is leading my life, and that there is a purpose to that experience. Everything has a purpose. And so I let go, and I knew it would be okay, even though I would be unconscious or whatever under anesthesia for 8+ hours, that I trusted I'd wake up. I'd wake up and there'd be life on the other side of it. There's life on the other side of whatever situation you're facing. There's life. And there's experience of coming home to yourself when you come into an acceptance of your life as it is. When you're not connected to your essential self, well, there's a natural tendency to control life, to control it. You feel that if you let go, everything will fall apart, so you try to hold all the pieces together, and that can be very strenuous to do that. We tend to stiffen up if you have tightness in your body, tight neck, tight back, tight shoulders. That's that trying to hold your world together all on your own. When you're swimming in the ocean and a big wave comes, and just think about when you try to jump or try to swim away, just how strenuous that is, when actually if you can go under the wave, that you might not even feel the effect of the force of it, because now you're in the flow with it. Now you're one with that experience. So it's just relaxing, allowing the experience to pass over you. You can notice when you're getting rigid in life, when you become judgmental of others, because then now it's like you're projecting that all out and you're in a space of judgment. We can even get rigid with our kids, with our pets. If only my dog would sit when I said sit, or not poop in the house. They did what I wanted them to do, then I could be at peace and I could feel like a good doggy parent. My daughter likes different things than I do, and so my husband and I, we thought we're definitely going to make sure she takes piano lessons and ballet lessons, and just, well, that's what we wish that we did when we were her age, that we had that piano and that ballet. But if that's not in her heart, and she has had those lessons, but if it's not in her heart to stay with something like that, she has her own life. And I am being conscious as a parent to not impose my will on her, that you live the life that I wanted for myself, or that I'd like to see you, that she gets to be part of that. Choosing, and of course still she needs to do well in school. That's very important. But as far as just her interests and her activities, I want to really be present to who she is and how she's unfolding. That's just really a way that I want to be honoring as a parent, and a way that we can be honoring to each other when we recognize whenever we impose our own will on others, that how stifling and how much resistance that can be. So trusting that there is divine order in her life, divine order in my pets' lives, divine order unfolding in all of our lives, even if it isn't the order that I think I want for them. Panashasai says that life will always challenge you in order to bring you from rigidity to flexibility, from control to allowing. So that's what these things that are happening in your life that you may be experiencing resistance to are opportunities to shift into allowing, to shift into greater flexibility. Someone who is flowing like water, who remains in that flow, who doesn't have attachment to a set of outcomes. So, you know, the saying, I do my best and God does the rest. You show up, you be the love and the light that you are. Maybe it's not going to be at the same energy level one day as another day with whatever's going on with you. That's okay. Just doing what you can do, showing up in love, and that allows you to have a greater capacity to remain peaceful and balanced when you're in that flow, flowing like water, accepting and trusting and being flexible. Because life is just happening, right? It's just happening all around you. We can't even stop it just seems like it's moving faster and faster sometimes. And when you're in the flow, you actually gain momentum. You let go of that stuck energy, you gain some momentum, and the momentum is expansive to your state of being. You can become willing to get out of your comfort zone so you can have a more expanded experience. So know that if you're feeling any stress today, it's part of our human experience to have stresses, right? It's a normal and a natural response to feel stress. So we can make stress wrong, say I shouldn't be stressed now. But stress is a call for change. So it's an opportunity. It's another opportunity. Rather than calling it bad, it's just another judgment. Rather than calling it bad, trust that it's serving you as a blessing. It's serving you. This situation is giving you the opportunity to expand. So meditate on that. Be with that. How can this experience give me the opportunity to expand so that I can be in the flow? So I invite you, as I close this part of my message, to join with me in affirming, I am in the flow of life. I am in the flow of life. Again, I am in the flow of life. And so it is.
Thank you for watching this message today. I'd like to invite you to join us in person here on campus at Unity of Houston for Sunday morning or Wednesday evening services. If you can't be with us here on our campus, you can still join us live on Facebook or on our website, unityhouston.org, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Central.